The office clock had just struck 6 when Mark, the company's strict and unyielding CEO, watched his star employee, Emma, pack her bag and leave. She was always diligent, always staying late, but something about tonight felt different. Curiosity, and perhaps a hint of suspicion, pushed him to follow her, keeping a safe distance. As they left the city lights behind, Emma's pace slowed near a rundown neighborhood. Mark's brow furrowed. Why was she going this way? He ducked behind parked cars and alleyways, heart thumping, not from fear, but from a growing unease. Then he saw it. Emma knelt outside a small, crumbling apartment building. From her bag, she pulled blankets and food containers, setting them gently by the doors. One by one, children peeked out from cracked windows, their eyes lighting up at her presence. Mark's jaw tightened. This wasn't part of her job description. This wasn't something anyone knew about. The employee he had often criticized for being too soft was secretly delivering meals, clothes, and hope to families who had almost nothing. Something inside him shifted. The Emma he thought he knew, the quiet, meticulous worker, was living a life of selfless generosity. And here he was, watching quietly, realizing that the true measure of a person isn't what they do at work, but what they do when no one is watching. And tonight, Mark knew he had just witnessed something extraordinary. The following morning, Mark couldn't shake the image of Emma kneeling on the cracked pavement, distributing warmth and hope to families who barely had enough to eat. At the office, she arrived on time, coffee in hand, smiling politely at her colleagues. No hint of last night's heroics. It was as if she had lived two entirely different lives, one in the world of spreadsheets and deadlines, and one in the shadows, giving without expectation. Mark's mind kept replaying the scene. He wondered how many employees had stories like Emma's that he'd overlooked. How many acts of kindness went unnoticed, buried beneath the noise of corporate life. For the first time, he felt an unfamiliar mix of humility and admiration. Later that day, he called Emma into his office. She walked in, confident yet unaware of the impact she had made on him. Emma, he began, I saw something last night. Something incredible. Her eyes widened, startled, unsure how he could possibly know. I followed you, he admitted, his voice softer than usual. And what I saw changed how I see you, and perhaps how I see myself. Emma blinked, a mix of embarrassment and pride flickering across her face. Mark leaned back, letting silence stretch for a moment. Your selflessness, your courage, it's extraordinary. You inspire me to be a better leader, a better person. And I want the company to help support the community the way you have, on a larger scale. Emma's lips curved into a quiet, humble smile. She had never sought recognition, yet tonight she realized that even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple far beyond what anyone could see, and maybe, just maybe, even change a life. Word of Emma's dedication and compassion began to quietly spread throughout the office. Colleagues who once only saw her as a quiet, diligent worker now started to notice her resilience and generosity. Small gestures, like the way she would bring in leftover sandwiches for the staff kitchen or stay late to help a coworker with a presentation, suddenly took on a new meaning. Mark, inspired by what he had witnessed, initiated a new program within the company to support local families in need. Emma was hesitant at first, unsure why anyone would spotlight her efforts, but she realized that this could amplify the good she had been quietly doing. With her guidance, the company partnered with local shelters and food banks, offering resources, mentorship programs, and volunteer opportunities for employees. One evening, as Emma walked home, she saw a young boy struggling to carry his little sister across a flooded sidewalk. Without thinking, she ran over to help, laughing as she balanced the children and guided them to safety. The gratitude in the boy's eyes reminded her why she had started volunteering in the first place. Not for recognition, but because helping others felt like breathing. Mark, watching from a distance, felt a profound respect. The woman he thought he knew had layers of courage, humility, and empathy that he could never have imagined. He realized that leadership wasn't about power or authority. It was about noticing, supporting, and amplifying the goodness in others. That night, As Emma returned home exhausted but fulfilled, she found a small note slipped under her door. It read, simply, "Thank you for reminding me what humanity looks like." A smile spread across her face. Small acts of kindness, she realized, had the power to inspire not just one life, but countless others. The following week, the office buzzed with an energy Emma had never experienced before. Employees, motivated by the new outreach programs, began volunteering more, organizing fundraisers, and even mentoring students in the community. Emma, though quietly proud, never sought the spotlight. Her joy came from seeing others grow and find hope. One rainy afternoon, Mark found himself walking behind Emma as she left the office. She paused to help an elderly man struggling with an umbrella, guiding him safely to the bus stop. Mark's admiration deepened, not just for her actions, but for her genuine disregard for recognition. She embodied a rare kind of leadership, one that was rooted in empathy, not authority. The moment that changed everything came when the company hosted a community event at a local shelter. Emma coordinated volunteers, delivered speeches, and shared her story. Among the crowd, Mark noticed a young woman approach Emma hesitantly. She was the little girl whose family Emma had once helped with groceries during her college years. Tears welled up as she whispered, "You believed in me when no one else did. I wouldn't be here without you." Emma felt a lump in her throat. Years of quiet, consistent kindness had culminated in this one profound moment. The realization struck her. True impact wasn't measured by accolades or wealth, but by the lives touched and hearts changed. Mark, standing nearby, was deeply moved. He had spent years evaluating employees on performance metrics, but Emma had demonstrated a metric he couldn't quantify: compassion in action. He vowed to ensure that her story and the ripple effect of her kindness became a lasting part of the company's culture. That night, as Emma walked home through the softly glowing city streets, she understood a truth she had always known. Even the smallest act of humanity could ignite a chain reaction of hope, love, and inspiration. Weeks passed, and Emma's influence grew quietly but powerfully. The company initiated a formal mentorship program inspired by her efforts, pairing employees with underprivileged students to teach skills, offer guidance, and provide encouragement. Emma remained humble, volunteering behind the scenes, content to see others succeed. One morning, Mark invited her into his office. He had been watching her, not just as a remarkable employee, but as a catalyst for change. "Emma," he said, "I've realized that leadership isn't just about policies or profits. It's about people. You've shown me what that really means." He handed her a small plaque engraved with the words, "For inspiring humanity." Emma blinked, overwhelmed. She never sought recognition, but this moment was more than symbolic. It was validation that her quiet acts of kindness mattered, that one person's selflessness could ripple outward in ways she had never imagined. Later that evening, Emma walked past the community center where she had first met the children she helped years ago. She paused to watch them playing, laughing, learning. Memories of struggles, fears, and late nights studying flashed through her mind. Her journey from a hopeful student to a beacon of inspiration had come full circle. The little girl she had once helped now volunteered alongside Emma, teaching new children the same lessons she had learned: compassion, perseverance, and the courage to dream. Emma realized that true legacy wasn't measured in wealth, titles, or accolades. It lived in the lives you touched and the kindness you inspired. As the sun set over the city, Emma smiled, knowing that every small gesture of love, every moment of selflessness, and every act of humanity could change the world one person at a time. Her story was no longer just her own. It was a story of hope, ripple effects, and the enduring power of kindness.